Hello, welcome to this course. Now we'll be treating JavaScript loops. And we all know loops is just a continual process until a condition is false or a condition is not met before it stops. So and we have like three categories. We have the for loops, that is what we call the general loop, and then we have the for in loop, and then we have the for off loop. So in loop, we have three categories. We have the stats, what I call the stats, then what I call the stats, and what I call the condition, and what I call the what, sorry, not condition row, condition, and what I call the increments. Then before my line of code. So here, what we do is that we first put the first categories, which is the start, then the condition that it follows for this line of code to be run, and then the increment. So see how it goes. First, I'll come here and say for let I equals to 1, for instance. This is my start. Now I can say I greater than 10. This is my condition. Then I increment plus plus. I can decide to use minus minus. It depends. So now what do I want it to run? Which action do I want to perform? I want you to log the results for me. So I can have something like results, log it on my console. So I have results I. So when you come here, you see that I didn't have any error in my console and nothing is printing, right? So the reason simply because when you look at this my condition, you see that this my condition is false because here I initialize my I to be 1, and then JavaScript is not taking 1 as the value of this I, then coming to my condition saying that 1 is greater than 10, which is false. So you see that this line will not run because this is false. The condition is not met, or the condition is false. So simply, if I want to correct this, I'll just simply make it to be less than, and automatically I will see my result being printed on my console. Because how this works is that first, this is initializer. When JavaScript comes, I'll be okay, this is the initializer, and then here is the condition. It will check is 1 truly less than 10. Remember 1 because this is the initializer. 1, I initialize the I to 1, so it will now check is it truly less than 10. If so, it will run this for the first time, and then it will increment. It will come back again. The value, remember it's already incremented, so here is no more 1, it's now 2. So now check the value of I, is it still less than 10? If yes, it will run this thing again and come back again. Remember, and when it's run, it will increment. It's now incrementing to 3 to come back again. Is the value of I at that time, which is 3, still less than 10? If yes, it will run this increment and come back, and so on and so forth, and you can see it here. So, but if you notice, it ends at what? Result 9. Someone will ask why we end in result 9. Because after 9, after you have printed number 8 and print number 9, then the value of I incremented, and then coming back here is now 10, and 10 is not less than 10. So that's why this line of code doesn't run. So I can use this thing to perform like a bit magic. So I can decide to, let's say I just want to create maybe say a multiplication table. I'll do something like this. I'll put it inside my quote. I will now say, okay, what I'm going to do now is 3. Let's say, let me just use 3. 3 times 3 times I to be equals to my dollar sign 3 times, sorry, I. So automatically you see what I have. So you see what I have. So you see I have something like 3 times 1, 3, 3 times 2, stuff like that. So these are the result of loop, because it will continue to come here and say, okay, here the value of I is what? For here now initialize as 1. So it will add it here 1, then here 3 times that value to give me the what the result. That is what is happening here. 3 times that value is now giving the results. So this is where the operation is taking place, the multiplication. So and so on and so forth. Now let's proceed to another aspect of it. I can decide to say, okay, I want to have something like, let me say I want to have something like an array. I'll be like, let's array objects to be equals to, let's say, um, Toyota, Toyota, let's say, um, different, different company of cars, let's say Spider, and so on and so forth. I can have many things. I can even say Lagos, and so on and so forth. Now I'm not familiar with all these car makers, so I can decide to have, let's say, a number, you know. So now using that the same method, I can say for let I equals to, I am choose 0, right? Now here I will not say I should be, if I is truly less than the array object, that is this array dot length. Now this is the, then I increment, sorry, increment. So I can have something like this. So if I really want to print my result, I can say, okay, let me print my result on the console, and I'll have something like results to be objects, sorry, array objects dot I. So you can see what I have. So here now I can print. You see how I separated the value. Don't mind my spelling. I'm just spelling anything here. So but this is just the syntax. So you can see how I separated my Toyota Camry. I'm going to write Camry here. Camry, whichever way I spelling. So I can see all these things. So this is how we can go for what array of what objects. That I'm talking about array of objects under loop. So now let's proceed to for in loop and for off loop. Now let me give a bit explanation on them. The for off loop, requires an array or a string, but then it returns the data itself. Then, but for in loop, returns the index of that data. That is when it goes with array, it will return the index of the data. But when it goes with objects, it returns the key. For example, let me clear this one I have here so that it won't confuse us. So using the same array, so I can have something like for for let of let of I of array of objects. Now I can have something like this. Then let me log my console. Let's say console log. Okay, so let's say results. Sorry, I. Let me refresh. So you see, it's now returning the data itself. As you can see it's returning the data itself. So it's now giving me the Toyota Camry, all these things. So, but assuming I want to use for off, sorry, for in, have for in. So for in will return the index of each of what the data. So I can have something like this. So you see, it's returning the index. So instead of giving me the data himself, it returns the index because of what? It goes through what? An array. But if that's of an object, it will return me the key of what? And the object. And with this, I've come to the end of this video. See you in the next one.